welcome to the Witchy Web We Weave. I'm Alara.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be talking about a witching on the cheap, Incense edition. So this all started because I got really bored one day and I decided to check out one of the stores that my mom absolutely loves. It's called Five Below. Five Below is one of those really, it's like one tier up from a dollar store because everything is $5 or cheaper. So Five Below.
Yep.
And I just wanted to see what options were there for that particular store just because it'd been a while since I've been in one. And they have a lot of the typical, lots of little kids' toys, you know, journals.
Little gadgets,
charge cables, things like that. But something that I ended up finding that I wasn't expecting to was an entire section on incense. An entire, like, two sections, like two huge end caps.
Yeah, like she called me, she was all excited. She's like, I found all this incense! And I was like, oh shit.
Which actually, I took a couple of pictures, so remind me and we'll put them up at the end of the video.
Okay.
For everyone to just kind of see a little bit. But one of the things that I got really excited about was this. So for those of you that do not know what this is a little wooden box where, for those of you that like particularly stick incense, this is a wooden incense box, which this actually, it's a wooden incense box that it was a little packet, came with some incense already in it. This one happened to come with like 10 sticks of rose incense, which I had already wanted some rose incense, and I've been wanting one of these boxes for months. Normally, whenever you go someplace to find one of these online or in a store, minimum that you're going to be paying for is like $12 to $15, but I've seen them as expensive as $40. And generally, whenever you do try and find them without going online, it's normally at an Earthbound.
I've seen a couple at Spencer's, stuff like that.
Spencer's, things like that. And those are normally a little bit more expensive, like in the $20 to $30 range. Not fun. This one, $5.
It looks pretty good.
And it actually, yeah, it looks pretty good. It opens and it closes pretty well. I mean, it sticks together. You know, you don't see as many of the gaps. Like I said, came with the 10 sticks of rose incense that I already wanted for...
Ooh, that's strong. Sorry.
Yeah, I expected them to be pretty... the only thing is with this box that I ended up getting, just looking at the quality of it now, it's kind of rough on the inside. It's not sanded down hardly at all. I'm trying to get it to where y'all can see some of that.
That'd be better on my side.
But it has the holes in the top for you to...
It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, for $5, that's okay.
Yeah.
I've got some sandpaper at home that I can just kind of sand it and smooth it out a little bit. But the way that this box works, it has like a little hole drilled into the side, on each side, so that you can stick a little stick of incense in it, and it'll burn inside the box, and it has holes in the top where the
smoke will breathe.
Where it'll breathe. And so it just kind of keeps it nicely contained so that once you're ready to dispose of the ash, it hasn't gotten everywhere. And it's nicer to look at. And for me, going back to stay with my mom, this is probably going to be a little bit better instead of having my normal incense that is just, it's a little stand with, to where it stands straight up. I think it's going to be much better for my living situation if it is in a pretty box so that she's not going to see just a burning stick.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little more subtle. But another reason why I really like these boxes is because they come, these little metal plates here, those are for you to stick cone incense on to burn. So it can do both stick and cone. Again, keeps it nicely contained. And one of the really cool things about these particular boxes that I found at Five and Below, like I said, $5, is the fact that it has a little hidey hole. Whenever you close it, it just looks like it's part of the box. You can't tell that there's
I was like, where's the hidey hole she was talking about?
You can't tell that there's a trap box there. Normally, this is for keeping spare incense in, but it can also be a little hidey hole for if you need to hide some of your witchy things that can fit in there. It's a little, it's like,
thin.
it's a thin, narrow space, but if you need to hide smaller things,
You could probably get certain sizes of wands in there.
you could probably get certain sizes of wands in there.
Because it's as long as the box, probably. Or just about as long as an incense stick, which, you know. Yeah, petition paper, other... I'm just trying to think of what else I could think off the top of my head where you could kind of hidey.
Honestly, if you need to do a particular working and most of what you can work with is just incense, that would be really good. Like you said, putting petitions in, but certain sigils. If you want to put a sigil in your room, but you don't want it to be easily found. I know the first thing you told me when I told you about the hidey hole.
Growing up in Vegas, you know, most of the 90s and even recently, illegal things.
Weed.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said just because it's Vegas and I grew up knowing a lot of potheads in Cali and in Vegas, so...
I never would have thought of that.
You know, and we don't condone it or against it. We do what you will with your own life. But...
But yeah, I mean, for $5...
Good for stashing money, too.
Good for stashing money.
If you're in a situation, because I've had friends where siblings or whoever will go in there and steal their cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good for stashing
so, yeah,
money.
You got a little hidey hole. You have a little nondescript way to burn your incense without just being out there everywhere for everyone to see.
Cone and stick.
Cone and stick. And for $5... Like, I'm ridiculously happy with this. I consider this to be a very viable option.
Yeah, that's totally a
I'm
win.
very happy.
And then you had told me they came in different flavors, right? Like the sticks, it was different scents.
Yes, this particular... Thank you for reminding me. This particular set that I got all had the same box, but there were different options for the incense that you could get with it. Like, this one was rose because that was particularly what I
was looking
for at the time. And it also happened to be one of the nicer boxes. Some of the quality varied a little bit between the boxes, but this was the one I liked the most. Some of the other ones that this particular set could come with was lemongrass, nang champa, vanilla, and there was another one.
Sandalwood?
Musk.
Musk, there we go. I knew it was something more spicy.
But, so yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of different options for those of you that are just maybe starting, just now getting into incense, or are looking for an affordable box instead of just a little tray, because that really doesn't keep your ash from going everywhere. It really doesn't.
Another really good thing is either this, or if you wanted to put more money into that for that reason, is good for an altar space. Especially on a slight altar space. Like if you just kind of have like that and maybe a couple stones or something that kind of just, oh, that's where I keep my stones, Mom, or whatever, you know, and you can just kind of set it up like a very sly, discreet altar and burn your incense. So
I've seen people put all of their, because most of their stones were just tumbled stones that they used to do their stuff with, they just had them all in a crystal bowl so that it looked like a decorative piece. And then they had this, and that was their altar space. That was their working space. So, I mean, you can make it look as subtle as you want it to. It can just be like one or two nondescript items. It doesn't have to be a giant pinnacle on the wall.
Exactly. Or anything else even remotely
$5. I consider this a win.
Oh, good Lord.
This was actually, what she's got a hold of was actually in the same section as the box. These are actually little short incense packs. Like, a lot of times, incense sticks will be about yay long, but you can also get packs that come in about half that size. And I was really interested to see, you know, how well they burn, how they smell, if it was, you know, a good option. The thing that I liked about this particular tube, yes, it should.
Okay.
This particular tube came with, I want to say, 20 incense sticks. It came with its own little stand, so that if you've never burned incense before or you don't have your own stand, it comes with one. And it's actually not too bad looking. It looks like just a little, you know, a little metal piece that you stick the stick in to burn it. And it had two different scent options. So that one that she has right there is jasmine, which How's that smell?
Not particularly like jasmine. Honestly, to me, it smells like something edible.
Really?
Like candy
Oh,
almost?
Yeah, it does smell a little sweeter than what.
Not entirely bad. You'll have to tell us how it smells once you burn it.
Yeah.
Another good thing is once you finish this up, it's a really good cardboard.
Yes, it's
So,
a very good container. And
good for, again, we've talked about this before, but stones or other things, knick-knacky things. And then after that, you could either leave it as is so it's more discreet, or you could paint over it, or wrap it in washi tape or really thin cotton.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably just hot glue it, wrap it around, and hot glue it again.
I really liked the size of the tube and the packaging because I think that I have a couple of glass bottles that I would use for some of my witchy oils and stuff that I think would actually fit in there that might actually be a little bit more low-key than just having the bottles out, being, you know, witchy as fuck, with the plant life in them and all that mess. That one is vanilla and driftwood.
I like this one better, for sure. Don't know if I'd say it smells like how it says it smells. Definitely a slightly more manly smell, though.
Yeah. But I don't remember if I've said this already. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these were $2. So...
And then, so it is... You have to tell me how well that fits, because in my eyes, it looks like it's going to be a little thick for the hole.
Go ahead and pull one out.
So the whole thing is like the same thickness. So a lot of people are used to having where one end of your incense stick is thin, so you put it in this little doohickey, and then the other end is the thicker end where you light it on fire.
Right.
Are you opening that one?
Yep.
Okay, so I didn't want to just open up all your stuff.
I mean,
And then you already have your little...
that's kind of why I got it.
Well, yeah, but, you know.
But actually, yeah, fits really well.
Oh, wow,
Just
look at that.
right down in there.
Okay, cool.
And then you burn it. Now this particular one, because of the way that the stand is, I mean, once it burns, the ash is going to get everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can burn it in the box. Sorry.
But yeah.
You'll want something underneath it.
You'll want something underneath it to catch the ash. Otherwise, it's going to get a little messy. But honestly, for $2, this is not a bad option. Especially if...
And that one only came in the 2 flavors, though?
This one only came in the 2 cents that I saw for this particular thing. But for $2, it's not bad. It comes with its own little stand. And I feel like this is a little bit more everyday. So that people would think, oh, she just wants her room. You know, they just want their room to smell good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to think anything metaphysical or witchy or, you know,
other
about it. So for $2, not bad. And honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, I kind of like both scents. You're right, the vanilla and driftwood is kind of my favorite out of those two. This one's a little too sweet, but I still like them enough that I'm planning on using these in my room. And I'm actually curious to see what my mom says. Like, how she reacts, or if she even notices what she says. Because the good thing is, I'm not about to come out to her about my witchiness, but I can at least use her to partially test some of these things without fear of retribution, because I am an adult. There's only a certain amount of things that she can do to me.
Right.
So yeah, for $2, that's not bad, but they're really nondescript. It doesn't smell like a metaphysical shop. It smells like a really nice
it's not like
room.
something like dragon blood or pagan scents or something crazy where it's just like I smell the witch.
It's not called pagan magic or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really viable option for someone who's trying to do it a little bit more low key without drawing too much suspicion. And $2 is not a bad price to pay for that.
Very discreet.
The last thing that I absolutely went bananas over was the section that had these particular boxes above them, because this was on the very bottom shelf. Above them, there were these mason jars that had been mounted on the end cap, and there were like 20 mason jars, and each one had loose sticks of incense in them. All of them a different smell. Or a different scent. And the deal that they had going on for these was 4 for $1 or 8 for $2. So I ended up actually getting I got a bag for me and a bag for Alex. And each of our bags has 8 incense sticks in them, and I just got 8 different scents. So each of us
Do you remember
have
what you got, though?
8 sticks of all different. Yes, actually.
Okay.
And the thing that I really liked about how Five Below did this was, here, I'm going to show you. When I pull these sticks in close, each of these sticks are a different color. And each of the colors is how you remember what scents are what, because I actually wrote it down on my phone.
What about these two? These blues look kind of the same.
Yes, but here, I actually got it on my little list here. Let me pull that up real quick.
I'm just sniffing everything.
I know, but they all smell really good. I picked the 8 that I thought smelled the best. There were some that smelled sweeter. There were some that smelled more manly. There were some that smelled very just very clean. And then they had a couple of them that...
that smells like fresh laundry or something.
Okay. So. There. Okay. So, as I call them out, will you hold them up for people?
Sure.
So, the pink.
Is this the pink?
Yes.
Okay.
Pink is called Peace of Mind. So, that could be one for calming or tranquility work. So. Give it a sniff for the folks at home, Alex. What do you think?
Not bad.
Yeah.
And I have like a weird sensitivity to scent. So the fact that none of these have given me a headache is a good sign, honestly.
That one's, it's a little sweet, almost a little fruity, but it's very clean. It's got a very clean underlying scent.
You know what's really wild? It kind of like, it hits the back of my nose somewhere where it kind of reminds me of like a chili candy.
Oh.
Like a specific one I can't remember, but it kind of has almost like a sweet spice at the very end, like a very back note spice.
Like all of their scents smelled really fantastic, and I was really
good,
impressed. There is a non-dyed stick that has glitter on it.
Oh, here we go.
That one is called Wizard. So that I thought would be really good for if you just need an extra magical boost.
So yeah, just plain old stick. There's a little glitter that we're not going to probably catch very well on the camera here.
Give that a sniff for the folks.
This one was, I think, the one that I thought smelled kind of like cleanish laundry.
Oh, yeah?
With, like, cleanish laundry with some flowers.
It's almost...
Like a tide with flowers or something. Like, it smells like clean clothes and flowers.
But it also, I think, can pass for a more, like, manly, like a more masculine scent.
Yeah, it's definitely not like others. Roses or something.
Mm-mm. There's another one that is blue dyed over green, which is that one right there.
This one?
That you've got a hold of. That one is called Tranquility. So, the Peace of Mind
also,
one...
a little laundry cleanish.
Yeah.
I like all the scents so far, though.
Mm-hmm. So... Yeah, that one almost has a little bit more...
Kind of like a fresh linen.
Like a fresh
candle
linen almost.
scenty kind of thing.
There is just a light blue one. That one is Ocean Wind.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Things are rolling away.
Good, but so far the most subtle.
And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I ended up getting that one is because I thought it was really nice that some of the options were more subtle than others. I tried to stay away from the overly sweet ones, which they did have one that was called like King Cake.
Ooh, yeah, King Cake's like that Louisiana stuff.
But that would have been, that's really good for if you're, I feel like if you're wanting to celebrate
Mardi Gras. Or anything else in that nature.
I thought that would be a really good, very, for a very particular occasion. But they had other ones like regular vanilla, or they had some that were, I want to say like, there was a raspberry, or
some more fruity stuff.
Yeah, they had some that were actually more like sweet and like pastry-ish. The dark brown one is patchouli.
Oh.
So that's actually, you know, a very earthy, witchy, you know, it's normally very popular in the witchy community.
That does not smell like patchouli to me.
Honey, that one... Hold on.
Oh, whoops.
2 of these are very similar.
My bad.
This one right here is the patchouli.
That's a little better, yeah.
Yeah,
That's definitely
the one that you had a hold of was actually next on the list. It's a dark maroon stain on the stick, and that one is dragon's blood.
Oh, they do have something a little more witchy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now on the patchouli, just because I know a lot of people that don't like patchouli.
Yeah, I'm actually one of those people that I normally do not care for patchouli. It's normally too strong for me.
Very light, and there are other undertones, like fruit or flowers or something. There is something there besides the patchouli, probably because patchouli, most of the times, is very expensive, even in incense form, so they probably have to, like, water it down in essence. But it still smells really good.
Yeah.
So kind of musky, kind of like it has like a, I don't know if it's fruit or flower, but there's like an undertone that makes it a little sweeter than typical patchouli.
Yeah, but it is still very earthy.
So more user-friendly, I think, than most patchoulis. But if you happen to really like patchouli, you might not like this one.
Yeah.
Just because, like, my mom's a huge fan of patchouli. Like, she'll rub it on her body. She'll put it in her shampoos. Like, she likes to just roll around in it. So this to her would probably not smell enough like patchouli.
But I think it's a very subtle option for those of you that are afraid that the actual scent of patchouli would be
a little off-putting, to be honest.
For those that are trying to keep it a little bit more sly.
Yeah, and then this one is definitely fruity or something.
But that one should be the dragon's blood.
Which is weird, because I thought dragon's blood was a little more musky, like a little more manly.
I don't use a lot of dragon's blood. It's been a while since I've lit it, so I don't exactly remember what it smells like. But it doesn't smell bad.
No. Nothing smelled bad so
far. The next one I really, really like. That one does.
It's like sweet fruity, which, again, I haven't used dragon's blood in a while, but from what I thought I recalled, it was a little more spicy.
Yeah. The next one that that one's the last one.
Oh.
The next one is actually probably one of my favorites. The stick is like pale, and then they dyed the end in red. That one is champa flower. So, nang champa, it's actually the flower for that scent.
I was going to say, this is a lot lighter than most nang champa, so I can see where it's just like the blossom or something.
The blossom, yeah. But I was super excited to see that. Because I feel like that's a very, to me, that's like sacred space, temple, almost.
Very
without
light, yeah.
the really
the heatiness of patchouli, of nag champa, because my ex really liked nag champa. Actually, he had remember that place in Dallas, the farmers market. She had a lot of nag champa soap, and so I'd get him a couple bars there anytime I'd swing by.
Cool. Yeah. The last one is it's blue and it's got glitter on it. It's called Fizzy Pop.
I can smell the fizzy almost. Like, it's...
it almost smells like a soda.
Yeah, none of those colors are really going to show up, unfortunately, but yeah, if y'all... And I've seen Five Belows in a lot of places, so I don't know if they're limited to not being in certain states or whatever.
I don't know if Five Below is something that is available outside of the U.S. That's my only thing.
Yeah, that maybe. I'm not 100% sure. It might be in Canada. You never know.
You never know. But I was actually really impressed with the selection of incense. Like I said, this is only a small selection. They must have had 20 different incenses. But I wanted to get Alex and I each a little bag.
So we can kind of compare and contrast.
Yep, see which ones we like, see how they burn for us, kind of what we think about using them.
Yeah, this is something else
probably something to follow up with in one of our future videos, but I figured I'd go ahead and kind of talk to you about some of it and show you some of this stuff. So, and like I said, this was like $4 for $1, $8 for $2. $2 for a bag for
not bad at all.
And this really wasn't all that they had. They had other things too. Like they had some essential oils that were available, very limited in their variety. But also the fact that they had like peppermint and citrus, and I want to say lavender. But they also had chakra candles.
Oh.
Like candles specifically for each chakra that were scented for that particular chakra.
Now, were they the
votive? No, they were the
big.
We call them the 7-day candles, but they're in the glass.
Okay.
But
they were scented.
They were scented for that individual chakra that they were labeled for. So they had a bunch of different options for things like that, and I was actually really excited about the variety. And honestly, these are really good prices for what you're getting, just because they kind of, I'm trying to think, because I made a comparison to you about the price of the incense, where normally whenever you're buying incense, there are two, you can either be really expensive or you can go really, really cheap. And it's not like with Earthbound. Sometimes you can get like 100 sticks of incense for like $3 or $4. It's not going to be that, but this is still really accessible. It's still really affordable.
And I think even Earthbound for certain folks might be pushing the envelope a little bit, just because, yeah, it's really generic and it's really basic or whatever, because especially when all the hippie stuff started kind of coming in and wearing flowy fabrics and all this stuff just kind of picked up, especially in Texas and in California where I've been. So even then, though, I'm pretty sure I've known people that I've grown up with that their parents would not be okay with that kind of store, just either religious reasons or hippy dippy, what is that, garbage reasons, you know what I mean?
Right.
So even stores like that might be a little too for some people, so things like Five Below are definitely a lot more under the radar.
And it's also one of the things where I wanted to put this as a witching on the cheap video, because more than anything else, this is much more accessible and affordable than what you would normally find at a metaphysical shop. Because, for instance, my local metaphysical shop that I love going to, that I go to fairly often, they sometimes sell loose sticks of incense. Those are normally $1 a stick.
Ooh. That's pricey.
That's kind of pricey. So this is a nice in-between. It's not like drastically cheap like what I quoted with the Earthbound sticks, but it falls somewhere in that more middle range where this is definitely more affordable than a metaphysical shop, and it can be considerably more sly if needed. But yeah,
sure.
Like I said, $5, $2 each. This came with the box, and then $2 for each of these bags of 8.
So what is it, like
sticks.
50 cents a stick?
Yeah.
So not bad when you're really reducing. Or 25 cents?
It was 4 sticks, $4, 25 cents each.
Okay, so yeah, so not bad.
But for everything that I just showed you, I spent $13. And I've got enough incense to at least last me for a little
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with these.
What are those, 20 a piece you said?
Yeah, these are 20 pieces each.
So that's, 46 of incense.
And then the box came with 10.
Yeah, so even though she does do a lot more incense than I do, that should still last somebody like her a good minute.
Yeah, that'll at least last me a few
weeks. So
weeks.
if you're like me, that would last me like all year probably, just because I don't do a lot of it, just because I can't have a lot of smoke in my space because sensitivity issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the next thing that's one of the things I do want to check is their smoke output.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I am curious to see about that. So there will probably be some follow-up to this at some point, just kind of talking about it. Especially since I love incense, so I can talk all day about incense. But on the same day that I went to Five Below and got all that mess, just down the road was the new Daiso that opened up. And I think I've mentioned this in my altar video, but Daiso is a Japanese dollar store that has been popping up
a lot
in my area.
Yeah, in general, like in Texas, we had 2 or 3 before I moved, and I think we're like over 10 now, like just in our immediate metroplex area.
This particular Daiso is literally like 5 minutes away from my house.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I love it. I love Daiso.
Your actual house or mom's?
Both.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, Daiso, the beautiful thing about Daiso, it's like a Japanese dollar store. Almost every single thing in there is $1.50 unless it is otherwise marked. Which there are going to be some things that are a little bit more, but normally it's not
bad.
It's not outrageous.
Yeah, I think the most expensive thing I ever bought there was like a tote or some socks, and I think those were still under $5.
And I hope in the future to do an actual Daiso video, going more and more into that. But the reason why I mention it right now is because I happened to pop in to Daiso on the same day that I went and got the other incense, because I was curious, because I had remembered seeing some incense at that particular Daiso, and I was curious how it ranked compared. So at the Daiso, which I also took a picture of the little incense that they offered at the Daiso for us to include at the end of the video, if you will remind me.
Okay.
But the one that I ended up buying is this one. It is called green tea, which I love green tea. Like, I like green tea ice cream. I actually like matcha and green tea, you know, just the way as tea, the way that it's supposed to be. I like green tea in a lot of things. So I was really curious. I haven't actually smelled it yet. I'll leave that to her to open. But that particular box was $1.50.
Oh, not bad.
And if I can see that box real quick. Yeah, it comes with 20 pieces. It's the little short sticks, kind of close to this size. And I believe that this one also comes with a itty bitty stand to stick the sticks in. Yeah. So this right here. This right here is the little stand for the incense to sit in.
You will have to figure out how to... Oh, wait.
You know, while it's burning. And it comes in a little tubey.
Yeah, little tube.
Along with the green tea, there were, I want to say, at least 3 other scents. One of them was called citron. Not citrus, citron.
Yeah, citron can be a weird scent.
It can be a weird scent.
Very common if y'all have ever had those mosquito repelling candles. That is citron.
They also had one that was peach.
Very subtle.
Very subtle, but it smells exactly like regular green tea. Like,
yeah, like it hit me
the
like
powder.
way like in the back of the nostril throat area. That's where I got like the scent.
I like green tea. And then the last one that I can remember them having is called, I want to say Hanukkah, or
I don't want to break your 6.
but it's a very flowery, almost talcum smell. But each of those packets, so 20 pieces, they're a little bit shorter than, actually yeah.
They're thinner though.
They're thinner.
I think.
They're a little bit shorter.
Smaller, yeah.
It was $1.50 rather than $2. But I consider this a harder to find scent. It's more particular to Japan. But I would do this probably for specific, if I was doing a specific tea ritual, I may do something like this. Just to kind of help set that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Set that intention to it. But I don't know. I'm kind of eager to try this one as well and see kind of what comes of it. But they just had these tiny little incense pouches.
So yeah, some video that we might do on a day where we have like a lot of time to go running around. It might be like a... You know what else I wanted to check out? The 99-cent store.
Yes.
Not like Dollar Tree, because I have gone there and it's hit and miss.
Dollar Tree is my favorite of the dollar stores I normally go to. Dollar General...
Yeah.
Just because they don't sometimes have the candles. And I go for the candles.
Yeah, but I want to check out the 99-cent store. I want to go to Big Lots, specifically looking for stuff, because they actually have some decent, like, everyday living stuff. So I want to kind of see what they have in that respect. I want to go to Daiso to do, like, a full... And then each Daiso back when I used to go more often, they had different things sometimes at different Daisos. And then, yeah. So if we could find another Daiso that's maybe near another Five Below to kind of see if the other Five Below has the same stuff, different stuff, whatever. But the other thing I was going to mention with these sticks, so if at 25 cents a piece, and you said there was, what, like 20 flavors, you could probably get like one of each and spend, what is that, 10, no, not $10, more than that.
20 divided by 4.
5.
So $5.
Really? Because you said it was 2 for $8, though. Yeah, something like that. But I'm bad at math. Anyway, so if you're someone that just wants to try oodles of stuff, but most people tend to have like a smell palette. So either you like sweet stuff, you like spicy stuff, you like clean stuff. Normally, it doesn't tend to go whoosh, 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 all the time.
Which, out of what I ended up getting, I got only a couple of them that I considered to be sweet. I got a couple of them that I considered to be more clean, and then the rest of them that I got were mostly, I got the patchouli and the dragon's blood because those are very well known amongst the witchy community. And then the other one that I ended up getting was just a, like a more earthy,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. You know, more masculine.
Yeah, definitely nothing like cake or something, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are different options depending on what you like or what you're interested in as far as incense goes. But I just kind of wanted to show you, if you have a Five Below, it's definitely worth it for the incense. I mean, this alone had me ridiculously happy because I've been wanting one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that...
Yeah. Yeah, we get it. You like your hidey holes.
So, yeah. So, this is the Witching on the Cheap Incense Edition. And I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that, you know...
It gave you ideas.
Gave you ideas, or, you know, that something like this might come in handy for you in the future. But, you know, if you have other ideas, or if you've tried Five and Below, or if you have comments, questions, please leave them below. We would love to get some feedback and hear from y'all. I would love to hear what y'all, or where y'all normally go to for your incense needs.
Yep.
All right. So,
We'll catch you on the next time.
all right.
Toodaloo.
Bye.